So still getting electrocuted 24/7. So God knows what that's doing to my body, my heart, and other organs and the tissue in between and on top of. They are shocking my asshole right now. Not in the most painful way that they've done before. It's not pleasant. I feel a buzzing in my feet going all the way up through my legs. This trailer has no power. There's no motor running. It doesn't even have a motor. It's powerless. All I have is power strips pulled from an extension cord. So I just have a power cord coming in here, and I got a strip and then a strip, and all I have in it is a laptop that's not even on, or it's on standby or whatever, and a lamp and a heater that's not even on right now. I just turned it off right before making this video, so you wouldn't hear that buzzing on the heater and thinking that was causing it. Not that anyone's watching this that is a good person or a decent person, or that can do anything about this. And it's going all the way up to my asshole, and they're also vibrating me up, and they're gonna start going through the demo mode of all the pains, like those massage chairs or whatever, the things that you put on top of chairs. Now they're hitting my throat right now. I can feel shocks against my hand when I do this. I feel like a vibration in my hand. I feel something hit my throat. It feels like something's hitting my throat on the inside right there. They're shocking my throat right now. And I can do that, and I don't feel anything in my throat. And they're trying, if I go up, then they're trying to go, I can feel them trying to come up under here. That shows intent, Dad. And plus, that's an external force. My brain wouldn't be reimagining something going from one other part of my body through another. It would be felt on another body part. And it wouldn't be felt on other witnesses who felt these things on me, these energy beams on me, and on other people. Again, it is not a rare thing for local law enforcement to have direct energy weapons at all, or the government or the military. Electrolasers are a real thing. They're not new. They're new-ish, but they're not new. And voice to skull has been around for over 50 years. But they're still vibrating my asshole. It feels like someone's holding like a mild vibrator against my asshole. So it's like zzz. And it's not just a vibration. That vibration is caused by an electrical shock. So there's a current going through me. And now they're hitting my chest right now, and they're making it hard to breathe. While breathing, it feels like something's hitting against me like this, all the way to fucking lungs and my diaphragm. I can do that. I can feel something hitting against my hand. That's not normal. That's proof of an external force. If you add that in with the witnesses and with my own, sanity checks, like I feel something. Now I don't feel it on my hand. Now I feel it on my throat, and they're moving around again. Like they're also doing the thing where it feels like something's like pushing against right here. That's one of their more annoying things that they do. That they just keep on there all day long or for hours. It's just, and it like slightly vibrates, or it just feels like a pressure pushed against you. Sometimes they make it feel more like static electricity, like on old tube TVs when you turn them on or off, and you have that layer of static. They've literally done that where it felt like I was like my whole head or like around my neck. It felt like there was like a whole cloud of static around it. And then also via voice to skull, I assume it's via voice to skull, they add in, like right now they're giving me tinnitus as well. One thing I don't often tell you is like sometimes when they're doing these attacks, they change the sound up, and they make the sound match the attack sometimes. I don't think the sound that I'm hearing is because of the attack that they're doing. I think it can be pretty quiet, or silent. I'm hearing a whir or a buzzing, like literally, and they're playing with it now. They're woo, and on top of that, they're hitting my ear when they do that, and they're going, "That's so we can enhance the annoyance." And isn't it insane that we do that? Isn't that awful? Isn't that just awful, Kip, that we're doing that to you? It must suck that your dad doesn't believe you. I wonder how he came up with that line, shittier timeline ever. You didn't send it to him in a text message. Maybe your landlord recorded you without your knowledge, talking in the backyard, and that's how he got it. Although again, that wasn't the last message that you sent to him. He said, go fuck yourself, which he corrected later on. But he didn't say shittier timeline ever. Ooh, I wonder if Meg's in on it. And and I don't think that they're saying that. I think Meg and my father are victims as well, or possible victims. I know my dad has been a victim because like it was not a coincidence. The day after Thanksgiving in November 2016, that he was recollecting when I was trying to get him to let me know that it was him because it didn't sound like him on the phone, because they can change the sound coming out of speakers. They can make it sound twangy or weird, or they can make it sound like it's chopped up and like a ransom note, but like an audio, like when like you like take words and they cut them up. They can make it sound like that because they have a soundboard, and I already heard my dad on a soundboard before. And recollecting how one time he visited me when I was at my old house, like over 10 years ago with Chris. That was over 10 years before that incident. And when my dad visited us, it must have been like 12 years before that. So like, and now he walked to the Hampton Inn, and I'm literally like half a block from the Hampton Inn, like at the intersection of IH-35 and Highway 183 in Austin, Texas. Literally just walked from Chris's house and another Chris's house that's 2 doors down from him, Chris and Greg. And like I literally was looking at the Hampton Inn sign. That's not a coincidence. That is too coincidental. And that's why I hung up on you, Dad. And I've told you that before. And like that's so important. I mean, that's just another red flag. Um, I mean, coincidences happen. I'm not a paranoid person. I did go through a paranoid phase with these people because their technology can manipulate everything around you. They've manipulated you into being like a more horrible, unsympathetic person that that treats like people with multiple disabilities, let alone one disability, that way, and with someone who they think has an addiction who doesn't. But still, like that's how like I'm suffering and you don't care. You've left me here to suffer with only like what are my only options left are self-help, and I've refused to do those. Like I don't want to commit suicide, but I don't want to suffer. I don't want to confront these people myself with self-help. All the the suspects and the police officers that were in on it or may have been on it or that fucked with me, who may have been in on it still or may not have been on it. They may have just been sketchy officers or made to appear sketchy. I don't want to go down to Red River and confront those two ladies. I don't even know if they still work there. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. But like the suffering cannot sustain. It's like you have to help me, but then you don't. You're not even watching these videos because you need a break from it because you're going through much stress. It's like you wouldn't be going through that if you got me out of here with Max and if you hired a private investigator to unload the workload. I mean, it would be the easiest thing in the world for you to do. Barely an inconvenience, they say, as a reference to the pitch meeting videos that I've been watching recently. They like to take everything I watch and then they slice it up and then like they replay it over and over and then they make references to, ooh, that's what you watched like earlier today or yesterday or a few days ago, or that's something from like 3 years ago. Remember that? Hey, remember that thing way back then? Hey, remember that thing? Remember that thing? We were there, you know. And now they're giving me information that's like, ooh, see this part in the music video with Madonna? Like, ooh, Ben likes that part. He showed that to you. He said, look, when he showed that music video to you, and he said like I like this part when she makes this funny face in human behavior or whatever it is, or whatever it is. They're trying to block it from Kip's mind as if Kip's trying to think about it, but they're not. He's just letting us speak through him. He's just saying what we're saying to him is what they're saying. And they're like, how would they know that? That's not something that could have been obtained for me, even if I was under hypnosis, and some sort of like, because they got a lot of information. It's like, how did they get that? And like, oh, all your people are like looking into this secretly, and it's like, but then why does he have to suffer? They say over and over, to mock me and to taunt me. Why does he have to suffer? He's already suffered enough. And it's like coming from the person that's making him suffer, who could do something about it. Well, I could do something about it, but they're like, I don't want to be caught. Whatever. Every time, almost every single time they say the word caught, they they go caught, and they try to annoy me with it, and it's something stupid. They play with words and shit, and they do something, and sometimes that has a reference to something, and sometimes not, and it just sticks, and then they just keep it going, and they try to get an eye roll or whatever, And like I'm already past that shit, and it's like we're trying to bring eye rolls back. We're trying to get Kip to eye roll. We're trying to get Kip to argue with this. We're trying to get Kip to do this and this, and it's like it's becoming more and more boring for us. And it's like as if he's the entertainment for us, which he is. And it's like, and then they go like, we have to thank you, Carrie LaCrone Sr., for letting us fuck with your son more. We know that we know that you believe Kip, but you don't have to like. There's a lot of other options other than what you've left him with, which is none. And it's like, and I don't even know if my dad does believe me or not. And it's like I'm done with him, but like I still do these videos, and I'm like, he has resources that are greatly needed that would help all of us, and it's so important. It is his more. He has a moral obligation to do that. Um, Maybe not a legal one, but a moral one. It's like Rom keeps going like, well, he's not going to. He's not going to. He's not going to. What are we gonna do? I'm like, I need help. Like, I can't control other people. Like, we're getting those arguments because they put it into her brain, and then she brings it up, and then we get in sort of these arguments. And I'm like, I know that they're putting that in her mind, and she doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe that they're using voice to skull on her, and then they'll start dropping buzzwords into her conversation. And they'll even let me know sometimes what they're saying to her as she's saying it, so I'll hear it from them as she's saying it to me in their like modified voice, and it's just it's aggravating. It's like I need help. I need Max and me to get on a plane, a small plane where other people can't get on it, and to get us the fuck out of here. That would not cause you a financial hardship, Dad. That would be the easiest thing in the world to arrange, or to send me resources to arrange it myself. But no, you think I'm going to go on a drug binge and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my fucking God. It's like, you left me here to suffer. It's like, what if I had killed myself? Like, what about tomorrow? I'm not suicidal. I don't believe in an afterlife. I don't want to not exist anymore, but I don't want to continue suffering. This is intolerable. It is beyond intolerable, and it is a billion times worse than you can even imagine, which even in that infinitesimally fractional amount should be oh my God, I have to do something now. I have to get Kip out of there now. And Robin, of course, and if you believe me, but then if you don't believe me and you just want to go with benefit of the doubt, then get me Max the fuck out of here. No, I'm here suffering. It's like, for what? For what? Like, it's not, what, are you using me as bait, or do you really still not believe me? I did not tell you shittier timeline, all for shittier timeline. I never said that to you, Dad. Like, I never sent that to you in a text message. So if they spoofed a text message from me, maybe they did that, and then you were saying that back to me. Maybe they orchestrated that. If you have a text message from me or any communication from me that says shittier timeline, because when you're at the funeral, I did say go fuck yourself, which you said to Sue's messenger. You said that to her afterwards, but you also, before you said that, you said what I actually said was shittier timeline. I never said that to you. I don't think you have a message with me saying that. They can manipulate, when you type in whatever, so maybe they did that, maybe they were still on you and they said that to you, but look at your messages. I never said shittier timeline. And if you have a message from me that says that, or an email that says that, that did not come from me, and you can go to places on the website and spoof text messages. You can probably do the same thing for emails. I don't know if you could I don't think you can do that for Messenger, but again, I never said that to you. So it's like, and they keep like blasting images into my eye. They're not memory recalls. They keep showing me Mom's face and Clyde's face and Stacy's face. These are people that died while they were in my life. Two of them when I didn't know about these people, and one of them while I was in jail. And around the time of his death, again, I didn't know he had died till 3 months later, after I got out of jail. Around the time that he had died, they started flashing his image in my fucking face in jail. They can do that. You see all those projections? They can do that into your eyeballs too. Maybe that's sometimes why I think I capture something and I don't. I document that in the video. I'm like, that's why I do video of videos. Because I'm like, I don't know if it's like between my eyes and here. And I was like, if it's in my eyeballs, but that's why sometimes it's in the camera lens. But the camera lens, can't capture the small amount that would be needed for whatever they beam into my eyes. It's like, there is technology that can do that. I didn't know there was technology that could do that from far away. They have something that looks like headphones, and you slide them down, and it literally beams movies into your into your eyeballs, into your retinas. It literally projects into your eyes. That's not a new technology. It's new-ish, but it's not new. This is probably new. I mean, well, that's not that new. I mean, they've been doing it for almost 3 years. But it's not a memory recall, and they've literally beamed images into my head of me from a third party perspective. One time when I was at Alan's house, and in my bedroom, they projected, looked like TV monitors, but it was just, they're flat, onto the drywall, onto the walls of like it looked like footage that they had taken. Some of it looked like a filter added to it. But like one of the things I focused on one of them was when these AC men came into Alan's house. And I could literally see it looked like as if it was from a point of view from a camera that was at the end of the entry hall, right by the entrance to the kitchen and the dining room and the living room, as if there was a camera in the ceiling. There's not, pointing right down the entry hall. I could literally see them setting up the ladder. I could see them climbing up the ladder and going into the attic and back and forth. Like I literally saw that. I was like watching that for like 20 minutes. I didn't think to get the camera. If I hadn't done that, they probably would have changed. It would have been hard to see. It was very faint. It looked like it was in like green monochrome, I believe. I don't know if they modified it, before they showed it to me. I don't know if that's how they see. Although they say that they can see colors, when they look through here, and I'm like, I don't know if they can. I mean, I don't know. I don't care. Like, what if they're beaming me with? What if that's X-ray technology that's been around for many years? At least a decade. The ability to like look through people's houses. They put those on drones for SWAT team, special weapons and tactical, and government and military houses, so they can find out where hostages are and where the bad guys are, where the terrorists are, and to map out the logistics and to do strategies and things like that. Voice of Skull's on there so that it can bridge a communication between them and the bad guys and the good people. For communication to talk them down subliminally or direct, so you don't have to get a phone number or whatever. You just open an immediate line of communication, or to confuse them, to make them, panic, or to confuse them and like make them like, talk them down or scare them down. And the projections could be added to it to make you appear, to provide like a cloud of mist, like in those videos that I do. That's not camera noise. Again, and these videos that I've been taking, again, are in the light conditions. They are with the front-facing camera, which is a lower quality camera. The videos that I take of the projections are from the rear camera, the main camera, and it has two on there. It has the one with the 2x zoom on it, the telephoto lens, although I'm like, that's not much of a, like I wouldn't be calling it that with the 2x zoom. That seems kind of weird. I think I had more of a zoom on that when I had my LG Envy, because it had like the camera thing that actually came out on it. I don't know why they can't do that on that. And it wasn't just a digital zoom. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think. I think I had 4 times zoom on it, or an 8 times zoom. Maybe not 8, but I'm sure I had more than 2. And that was like in like 2005, I think. But like, that's not camera noise. I see that, and I know it's hard to picture, but it's like they don't always, and they have before, but very rarely, they don't always are lit up like a neon sign, like in 3D holograms, with like brightly lit, like, obvious that you could capture, very easily. It's very faint usually, and it's like they make them stronger and stronger. And again, it's hard to capture because there's also all this twack or noise in between me and the image that I'm seeing. And sometimes the eyes take a long time to adjust. And with the video camera, that's why I have to adjust it and bring the levels up. And with your rude comment about like the model, like they get the enhance, I'm not going in there enhancing it and adding things. I'm just lifting the levels. I'm lifting the shadows. I'm lifting the brightness. I'm fucking with the contrast. I'm not adding elements in there that aren't already in there. It's like when you take videos, that video is going to be darker than still images. It's just like when you go to slow-mo video, that's even darker because it has a lower whatever, it has to be it has a shorter amount of time. There's an aperture or whatever. It has a shorter amount of time for it to get that, so it doesn't have all that light. So you have to lift the levels. So it's like, yeah, you can't see anything in the original videos. They're dark. I mean, and some of them you can, but it's like, but I provide them there as to be as transparent as possible and be like, here's the original, here's my enhanced one. Sometimes I change the colors on it as well, the hues, because sometimes I think certain hues make it easier to see some of the artifacts. Sometimes I make it black and white. A lot of times I go to that blue and purple one because when I go to that hue, it has a blue and a purple, and it's not just it doesn't make it more, it's less monochrome, and it has a blue and purple elements to it. So sometimes I think that makes it things more visible in them, because it's not just, you can go one way or the other. It's more blue, more purple, and like that's the one in there. They have one that's kind of like red and yellow, red and orange or whatever, but I don't think that looks as good, and it's like it's more sensitive. It's like, and it's hard to hit that sweet spot. But the blue and the purple one, there's like in between there, there's like one where it has blue and purple, and that brings elements out. And sometimes I don't, because sometimes I'm like, well, I'm looking at it in the dark, and I've looked at this, my eyes have been in the dark for, you know, several hours, so it may be in the daytime, it won't look that good. And sometimes the brightness on my phone is like down, and I don't realize it, where it's up, and it's like, people aren't going to have like a Samsung phone with the best display ever pumped up all the way, like even beyond the warning thing, where it gives you even a warning on those things. I'm like, I'm not adding elements in there. And again, even if you can't make out things in imagery, I'm trying to capture something that I saw with my eyes. I don't always see things in there that make sense. Sometimes it's just noise. And some of my videos, you'll see I call it like a fog of, or a mist of twack. I call that all that bullshit twack, the twacky projections. Like I'll be, and it obscures light. It obscures my vision. Like sometimes I couldn't see Max outside at night, even with the patio light on. Because it's like it creates like a fog. It's like, and then if you try to use your camera flash, it's like turning on the brights in the car in the fog. That's why they have the fog lights that are lower. It's like, it like reflects back at you. And they also use that for camouflage, so you can't take pictures of a drone, in the sky. That's why I have pictures in the sky at Alan's house. I'm trying to capture over the roof. I'm trying to capture in the sky. And if you notice that, and Tim actually noticed that when he started to see some of the stars, it looked like they were kind of fuzzy, kind of like at the edge of a contact lens, or like you have like a hair, like an eyelash in your eye or something where it's like it's out of focus and in focus, and it looks like, it also makes it like wavy and moving. So you see like a lot of my videos, they'll wiggle or they'll move like, and they'll have like things in the shape of eyes, but when they intersect with an object like a tree branch or something like that, or a tree trunk, or something on the wall like this or something, it's like it'll be like I, and then I, and then like, but if you focus on these two eyes, like you look here, and so your focal point is there, and so you usually find two pairs of eyes. But if you look more closely at the photo, it's like, well, there's also eyes here and here and here. There's not anything here that I see right now. I'm just using that as an example. I point that in the videos too. It's like that they make it look like things have faces on them. And again, they're not trying to be caught on this. So they're trying to make people look more crazy. So they're just doing it on the edge of things like that. But again, my camera shouldn't take photos, even in low light conditions, with that much noise in it. And in many of the videos, like look at the ones where you see my reflection in the mirror and I do this, and you still see my eyes there. You still see my eyes. And in some pictures, and you see one of Paul that I did back in September. You look at my videos, just search on my videos and look for Paul. Just put, Gangstalking Kibble Crone, and then put Paul. And you'll see a Paul video. And I've got enhanced versions of that as well. Look at those. You'll see his face turns into like a demon looking face. My face turns into a demon. Like we're just sitting outside talking. And I'm like, and all that crap is going on. And it's like, you'll notice like it puts like cartoon eyes over things. Look at the Maureen Kina poster from February or April of 2018. When I got out of jail, I was texting you, and I was like, they literally put me through like an asthma attack, which a year later, in 2019, when I went back to Austin to meet with the FBI guy, the same place, Isaac witnessed me having that fake asthma attack, or not fake, but like the mimicked asthma attack. I have a video of me again from the valley, from Westlaco, where I'm having an asthma attack, and I literally do that. You'll see recent videos where I get short of breath and labored breathing. I'm not making that up. Like, I'm not making up the Kermit voice or whatever. Like, I'm not making any of this up. It's not up here. I didn't come down with all those different diseases. That doesn't happen. That's impossible. And the power of premonition, which you keep ignoring. I know you don't believe I have the power of premonition and sight beyond sight. I know you don't believe I'm being haunted by a poltergeist. Neither do I. But if you believe that I was schizophrenic, then you would have to also believe that I was had the power of premonition, or some other thing like aliens gave me that knowledge, or some outlandish thing that I hope we can put out of scope and out of like the things that like technically we are completely sure that that type of phenomenon doesn't exist. But I hope as scientists and logical thinking and rationally thinking people, we can push that off and just say we're not considering that as part of any diagnosis or troubleshooting or anything like that. But like I keep saying that, and you keep ignoring that out of your logical paths. You keep it, and it's like, no, 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 you cannot ignore the 301 thing. I did not know that the guy in 301 had my stolen phone, or that someone had it in his room, and that he had hacked my Google account, or that they used his email to hack my Google account. I could not have even known that even if I was in a paranoid, delusional, schizophrenic state. That is impossible. And I'm not hung up on that, Robin, as like, you need to get past it. I'm telling you, that's one of countless examples. It's so important because it happened with about a month after they introduced themselves to me, when I was still questioning, like, is this really happening? Like, are these real people? Like, I'm pretty sure they are, but I don't know anything about schizophrenia. Maybe I'm schizophrenic, and I wasn't in denial. And then that happened, and I was like, and then other things happened. They read license plates before I have the chance to even like for them to be in my vision. They read ahead in books. Like, look at my log that's linked from the Gangstalking document, Dad, that I took when I was in jail. The last time I was in jail, I did like daily journals for like 3 months, I believe. Look in those, and I have some of them marked as premonition or something like that. Some of them have in each subheading, it has like, I think it says like premonition or something, or not schizophrenic or something like that. And it's something I need to change later on to make it more user friendly or reader friendly. But it means like this shows an example of where they told me something that I could not have known even in a paranoid, delusional, schizophrenic state, countless times. And it's like they like to do that to taunt me, and then they'll say, put that in your premonition pipe and smoke it. It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's just a stupid saying, but like that's one of their catchphrases, and they still do it to this day. They don't do it as often as they did back then, um, but they still do it more more often than not. And again, now they're playing the Fifth Element music. I'm literally hearing that as if the CD's playing at a very low volume. Like, that's not like getting a song stuck in your head. That is like someone forcing a song into your head, literally. Not like a tune, like you have a tune and like, I know the song. No, I literally hear that music, like as is. But then sometimes they modify it too. Well, they've certainly cut it up and they repeat it.